Yo, what's up? I was just about to go hit a workout. Going to kind of a mountain jog, I guess you can say. Got the curbs right here. But I was just gonna spit some game before that. I was gonna talk about the reality transurfing. Goated book by Van Seelen. I've completed chapter 9 right now, today. Which is kind of like brutal because it takes a couple of hours just to complete one chapter. At least in the audio. So what I'm doing is that I've read a couple of the chapters myself, or actually before I got the physical hardcover book, I was listening to an audio book. I think it was like chapter 1 to 6, and now I got the book, so I read it once again after I read it the first time after hearing it. And after chapter 5, 6, I started to listen, like combine the two. So I listened to an audiobook with headsets on at like 2.3 the speed, as I just kind of read the words and go along. And I also been taking notes as well in my notebook. So we have like, just to show, I don't know if you can see it, you can probably pause and read as well. But I just write down the chapter and a quote from the chapter, and also generally just small points. And I also prompted the chat GPT kind of book summary to go along and help me with understanding the book. So I believe this book you should absolutely study. Excuse me. Allergies, man. Yeah, you should absolutely study it. Reality transurfing, it's helped you so much with the conscious and unconscious mind. But yeah, what I learned now is, if I just to give a summary of chapter 9, it would be that you have your mind and you have your soul, your heart. And those two things are your main source of life. Those need to go in unity. You cannot have your soul go one way and your mind go another way. Then everything just turn into chaos. You need to have them in unity, on the same theme. If you don't have them on the same theme, then you're not going to make so much progress to your goals. He was also speaking about visualizing, and when you close your eyes and think about the goal which you want to achieve, you don't have to think about the result. You need to think about action which leads to the result. It's called cause and effect. You don't need to think about the effect, you need to think about the cause. If you want to be jacked, if I were to just give it simple, a simple example in everyone's life. If you want to be jacked, if you want to have a 6-pack or 8-pack or whatever, you want to have big shoulders, big legs, whatever. If you want to be in top physical condition, you don't need to visualize yourself being in top physical condition. You can do that, and this will probably help you a lot. But you need to visualize taking the workout, eating healthy, getting enough sleep, learning about nutrition, stuff like that. Because when you visualize that, when you put on that slide, or those film theaters, those old ones, where they kind of just like flip and you slide on, or perhaps glasses you can put on different type of tints, perhaps dark rose tinted glasses, which make you see the world differently, through the lens of your eyeball. You can do that in your own life. If you want to make money, you don't need to visualize sitting in a Lamborghini or sitting in that Ferrari or having those materialistic items. You need to visualize yourself working and learning. on the stuff which actually is gonna make you the money in the first place. Visualize the cause, not the effect. Yeah, no, that's generally, yeah. That's what I was just gonna talk about before I head out. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm kind of not even halfway through the book. And it's absolutely mind-blowing already. You can see in the background a lot of books which I need to go through, which I will in the next couple of months. So yeah, just learning those fundamentals, getting more knowledge into your brain, getting more educated on certain subjects, it definitely will help you in your journey. So that's what I would advise you to do. And it's not even that expensive. Like I've got books a couple $100, which I've bought myself. But you can generally just search up on YouTube right now audiobooks, and you can start listening to them a couple, like 10, 20, 30 minutes a day. And buy. I have multiple notebooks in my home. Just buy one of those and get a pen, and just write down stuff. You can search up, you make AI, make a type of template which you can just fill in each time you learn something new. Yeah, what I learned, give an example, and also think about how it can implement in your own life, because that's what's important, that you implement it. Because when you implement it, you basically kind of hammer it into your own memory. If you learn something and then just don't do something about it, you will eventually forget about it. Maybe in a couple of days, maybe weeks, or after a year. I could probably guarantee it's something I've forgotten last year, which I learned, because I generally just didn't implement it so much. I didn't use it so much. And that's kind of course, that's how the mind is built up. But just generally write things down, because then you can look back at it and review it, and you can also just make it help you in your own life. So go do that.